Welcome back to my channel once again. I trust that you're doing well. I'm in Chiwatule once again. I found this place very refreshing. Today on set, I'm privileged to host an individual with 15 years experience in sales, distribution and marketing. He's been around, he's worked with one of the biggest telecommunications companies in Uganda, and he's amassed a lot of experience on how things should actually happen, how you can get back to your feet. Now that we have a restart in the economy, probably there are certain things that we need to refresh ourselves about so that we relaunch our businesses, so that we get to our customers and get things done. Anthony, you're welcome on set. Anthony, you're welcome, and I trust that you're fine and healthy. Of course, the SOPs are supposed to be observed, but for purposes of having a clear audio so that everybody can hear what we are saying, we've put masks on the side. Anthony, could you kindly introduce yourself briefly?
All right, thank you, William. Like you just said, I'm Anthony Mukiibi. I'm a sales and distribution enthusiast. I love sales and distribution, and obviously marketing comes with the territory. And like you rightfully put it at the beginning as well, yes, I've amassed 15 years experience in the game, and I think what I have learned is critical, especially in a time such as now when businesses are trying to launch themselves and get back what they've lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony, could you probably give us a picture of what you think the business of fast-moving consumer goods is like right now after the lockdown? What do you think the picture is currently prior? We would say probably how your comparison from before COVID and right now. What is the picture like?
Okay. Firstly, maybe just to give an intro on fast-moving consumer goods. These are mostly quickly packaged consumer goods which have a high chance of being perishable, and they also have a lot of outrun. If people are buying them, they buy them quickly, and these are things like bakery goods, soft drinks. Airtime as well is considered among fast-moving consumer goods because people really use it. There's that high usage rate with airtime. So in this space, we've seen that there's a lot of cutback from some people because there's a need to be cautious with people's spend. Many people have decided to cut back because they think if they spend the shilling they have now, they're not sure on how tomorrow will be. So you find that a person spend on things like, say, airtime, on things like, say, data, has cut back, and it has only done so because they've given it a lot of thought on where their money will go. So companies need to understand that this precautionary sort of behavior is because of COVID, and how they can go about it is now why we're having this discussion.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, could you be having an indication of the most popular fast-moving consumer goods in Uganda right now, given that people are supposed to spend wisely? They do not have so much liquid, they don't have cash on them. There are things that you think now the focus should mainly be on these particular types of items if somebody felt like they should invest more in that area?
Okay, for investors, I think obviously you have to look at consumables, because even if times are hard, people have to eat, people have to drink. If you're out there and you have maybe you're a casual laborer on a hot day, you're working and you're thirsty, you need to drink a bottle of water, a soda, juice. So those are areas which have taken a slump, but not so much, only because they are consumables. Now, other things like I just said, like airtime, things like maybe milk. If, for instance, you had your favorite yogurt, you'll see that there's some sort of cutback that people are experiencing, or they're put on their expenditure only because they're being cautious. But in terms of investment, consumables, you still won't go wrong because the eating, the drinking has to go on. Yeah, so for investors, that's the space where they can still play. There's still a need to obviously do research. We won't discount the need for research on which particular area you can go into. But consumables as a whole, is still big in terms of speed of usage and the volumes in the market. Yeah.
Yes, Anthony, I have a couple set of questions here that some of our viewers have submitted previously. They asked me if I could invite somebody, and one of the questions is, how does your product get to the final user?
Okay, thank you for that. Route to market is a critical question in many products, be it FMCG, even general slow-moving products. There's some companies right now that we have on board that we're working with to try and figure out how they can reach better to their customers. And I think the starting point is to understand who is your customer before you design your route to market. Many times we always fall back on the answer of mass. I'm going to be supplying mass market. I'll open my store and whoever wants to will just come and pick what they want. But I think that's unfair to the business, and it's also unfair to your entire setup as an enterprise. It's always best to understand, okay, if mass market is, say, I'm looking at, say, anybody with a shilling, say 18 and over, up to, say, 60 years old. How much more can I refine it to understand that of these 18 to, say, 60-year-olds who are actually able to buy my product, who need it on a daily, and who are going to find it beneficial to them. Because whenever you say mass market, you can decide to hit each and everything, and your bottom line hits nothing. As in, you're providing for everyone, but no one is actually keen to buy your product. So in terms of understanding key to market, route to market, understand who your customer is, where are they, which space are they playing in. For instance, if you're launching, let's take a quick example. If yours is, say, a soft drink, and you're going to launch, say, during this season, who is your target? If your target is, say, the 18s to, say, the youth group, which is the biggest segment in the country, if that's your target, where are they? Where on a daily will they find your product? Now, if it's any retail shop, the supermarket, within the school canteen, all these avenues are going to be your route to market. How do I get to those places? Now, as a business, you may not be robust enough to get to each area, but now because you know which areas you need to get to, then you set up a structure. So in your route to market, you have to understand that if I want to reach the smallest school canteen where this 15-year-old student is going to find my drink, who in the market can I distribute to, and then they'll get it to that boy. Because as a business, you won't obviously have the capacity to reach each school canteen, each supermarket, each wholesaler. So you have to create that chain and say, okay, my soft drink, maybe let's launch Kampala and see how it's received. Now within Kampala, soft drinks are not a new business. People are already running the soft drinks. So look at Kampala and maybe segment Kampala and say, okay, let's start with downtown Kampala. Who is the biggest soft drink distributor? Because these same people are the same ones you're going to use to follow the chain that they send the product out to. So if you get that distributor, obviously see how they move their product, and then see who is under them to go to the really lowest parts of the consumer. Because obviously, like we were saying in the beginning, distribution and sales come hand in hand. You've sold a good product, but make sure a customer can find it within arm's reach. That school canteen will only get if you get it to another level below you. And if that level also can't reach the school canteen, then you have to create another level just below them. So it's a whole chain, but it all goes back to who your customer is, making that definition clear. Yes.
Could you possibly throw some light? Could you clarify or give us the difference of the difference between sales and distribution?
Okay. All right.
And marketing. Because there's sales, there's distribution, and then there's marketing. Probably some people do not know the difference. Could you kindly shed some light?
Okay. Sales, in a nutshell or in a layman's language, is you pick up an item and try and make sure that you reach as many people as possible. You make several hits to show people this is a mobile phone, this is what it can do. For this price, it could be yours. You're selling. You're actually explaining the product and showing them the benefits they'll enjoy with the product. And that you do by reaching out to the customer and sort of explaining the benefits, and also putting the fee out there for them to make their interest known. And you can do that directly yourself. You can do that by putting it in places they'll find it with your price tag and they'll make payment. Or you can also just put it online, which is now the new platform that people are using. Now, marketing, on the other hand, is showing what this product is. Sort of an abstract explanation of what this product is and what it can do and its benefit. You're not so much reaching out to tell people, come and buy, but you're just showing this is now out here. You're creating interest, you're promoting a product and saying this phone is going to be able to do this for you. Are you aware that you can achieve this with this phone? Are you aware that this phone can give you, say, 3 days of battery life? So in that, you're spreading the message about a product. Now, the difference there between that and selling is that in selling, you're actually reaching out and telling people, yes, for this price, you can take this. So there is a difference which is distinct, but also the lines are kind of gray. These cross into each other. When you're marketing, you want to achieve sales. And when you're selling, you market this product as much as possible for that person to be convinced that it's what they need. Now, on the other hand, distribution is making your product available to these people you've marketed to those that have tried and tested it, to those that have bought it. Distribution is easier, I would think, because if you're selling a product and you've picked buy-in from a customer, distribution is making it available so that if I've tried, say, your soft drink and I've liked it, I shouldn't struggle to look for it. It's unfair that many businesses today are spending big portions of their budget to market and to sell. Now, after they've achieved these two, their sales teams are hitting targets, their marketing is getting all these good reviews, they fail on the last leg of distributing, making sure your product is available. You'll find people asking in the supermarket aisles, hey, there used to be this product on this shelf. We liked it, where is it? Now, the supermarket obviously will pass on the information, but at that moment of truth, there is a failure from the business. You've promised, people have accepted your promise, some have tried your product and they love it. Now, when they actually need it, you're not there. So distribution is going out there and being available within arm's length. If, for instance, I want your soft drink and I've loved it, I shouldn't really toil to get my transport and travel for it. I should get out maybe of my home and at the nearest supermarket or the small kaduka at my home, I can pick it up. Now, at that point, that's when you test and say that, yes, this person has gone through the whole chain. They have sold, they have marketed, and now they are distributing to reach their product out there.
Okay. Just to remind you, we are here with Anthony Mukiibi, the director of Channel Partners, a consulting firm located here in Kampala, Uganda. Yes, Anthony, before I move on to the next set of questions, how is consulting business taking place? Could you probably share a picture of what the current status of consulting is? Do you actually have business going on right now? Is there an influx of so many individuals coming through seeking for advice now that the economy is sort of having a restart?
Yes and no. Firstly, like I said, there's a lot of precaution being taken by many industry players. They're trying to understand the slump in sales, and others obviously are sure it's COVID, that once there's some semblance of normalcy, their business will pick up again. Now, what that means is that many businesses have become consultants themselves because they're trying to understand what it is that they're dealing with. So for those ones, they're trying to re-strategize. Those ones have kept away and they're trying to look within. And we've seen, if you've been following in the media, many are cutting back with their staffing, many are cutting back with the expenditure. However, others have been bold enough to come and ask and say, okay, how do we go forward? Because consultants in some spaces are looked at as, for lack of a better word, as vultures. Because they say, okay, now we're already experiencing COVID, let's first cut back on who a consultant is in this space, and then look within ourselves and find a solution. But I would think that is wrong. Because if you're cutting back, don't cut back on the help. Cut back on excesses. Because a consultant is also in the same market. They see what is happening. They can sit with you and agree and say, okay, since we've been together this long, let's sort of come to a middle ground on, say, which payments I'll take versus which knowledge we shall share. So consultants needs to be brought to the fore and a solution found for businesses. But like I was saying, it's yes and no. Some have accepted that there's a big problem. Let somebody come and we sort of realign where we're moving as a business, which I think is critical. Never has then a need been as it is now for us to reevaluate how we look at business, how we look at the customer. If my customer has 5 shillings and he has chosen to bring it to me and not company X, why have they come to me? All these are questions we need to ask ourselves now. Why have they come to me? If I'm running a string, say, of supermarkets and I have one particular branch outcompeting the rest, why is that one doing what it is doing? How can I support it? In economics, we've read about things like cash cows, stars, question marks in business. Where does your business lie? Where does your chain of businesses lie? So if you understand that there's a place that is struggling, call in help. However, if you understand that there's some excesses as well, it's also a good time to look at them. So to answer your question, yes, consulting business has also taken a hit. However, like any business, we also stand and want to be counted at the end of this as a company that has weathered the storm. And also as a business, we also look within ourselves to see, okay, where are our excesses? What best can we do for our customers? Because even when you take a hit, you have to understand that the person you're reaching out to help may not be in the best position to meet your invoice, to meet your billing. So you sort of reshape how you approach some of these areas. And also you have to come with a win-win situation. Let me be paid, but let me also see your business go to another level.
Okay.
Yeah.
This conversation went on for a little while, and believe me, I enjoyed each and every part of it. In the second segment, Anthony will go on to discuss how best we can identify who our customer is and why after-sales service is a very important thing to inculcate into our business processes. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.